Hey, hello, can you hear me? This is going to be about BiasFX, Positive Grid's BiasAmp 2. It's an old program, they've stopped supporting it, and it's just like me to make a video about it now when no one cares. But there might be some of you out there that care. I do, I like it, I use it. I've used it for ever since it came out, which is almost 10 years. Incidentally, this video will not be concise. It will be probably long and rambling. So if you're not in the mood for that, you're not going to like this. Because I know I like to be warned, because I hate videos that waste my time. So we're going to look at it. Some of you may be familiar with it. This is running on an iPad, and I'll tell you why. I have it. I'm using Windows right now, Windows 11. Actually, Mini. What is it? Windows 11 Mini. And BiasFX runs BiasFX 2 and BiasFX Amp 2 run pretty well on them. But I get better audio performance through my iPad into the M1, MOTU M1. So I tend to use it, and also the two programs integrate. You can switch seamlessly between the Amp and BiasFX. You can't do that on a PC, on the PC version. Also, there's problems with the BiasFX applications on Mac, as far as the audio communicating with it. So, using a Squire Telecaster into the M1, into the iPad. This is an iPad Pro Generation 2, and the reason I'm using it is because this is the last operating system that the two Positive Grid programs talk to each other seamlessly. They don't communicate with each other seamlessly in the higher operating systems. Also, I'm doing something a little different here, because what this is going to be about is using BiasAmp 2 mostly, because I've gotten the best results by using BiasAmp. But I've used the amp capture, amp match. I've used amp match to get these to get this sound, and you have to do that on the PC. And unless you can get it to run on Mac, you're going to have to do it in Windows, which I did. I created the sound. I believe it was in it was the Moore app that I think has also fallen by the wayside. Don't have it on here anymore because I paid $50 for the unlimited slots, and I can't get them back. What I'm doing here, since BiasAmp does not come with effects, because it's strictly for creating your amplifiers, I'm using AUM to send it into BiasFX 2, but I've taken the amplifier out of line and the speaker out of line. Now, I'm not going to use of course, if you're going to use the pre-amp effects or post effects, you'll have to adjust where it comes up or where you place it in the AUM chain. You can easily switch it, but you can't run two. These are both inter-app audio. They're not AUM. They're not AUV3, which is another thing I had hoped to find in updates from Positive Grid, but that didn't happen. So you can still load them into AUM. And you know, there's something else you can do. I have the app, the iOS version of Positive Grid's BiasFX 1. So I can load BiasFX 1 for the pre-effects and load BiasFX or backward or vice versa, because they're two independent versions of inter-app audio. So I have done that, and it works. It's going through this. This is one of the reasons I like the BiasFX old style applications, because they have some good effects that are kind of hard to find. The Leslie can be good too. And you can, of course, make your own effects with BiasFX pedal, which I don't have in line. So you have what you have here, and this is just a matter of taste. I like this kind of thing. Some people don't, and they won't want this kind of a format, and they won't want this kind of a format in creating your amplifiers. I happen to like it. It's part of the fun of it all. NAM captures are awesome. Every time I go to Tone 3000, I find nothing but shit, so I don't bother to use it. So I've had better luck doing it this way. Also, the thing I look for is being able to turn down and have it clean up and go through an edge of breakup to a high gain sound, which I've managed to do here. A lot of the newer stuff does that. Another thing I like is a low noise floor, and I manage that too. Part of that is the MOTU capture device. It's probably the best thing I've ever owned. And it's about $200, and it hasn't really come down because it's actually good. I'm only doing 44.1, or no, this is 44.1. Let's have a look. See what kind of latency I've got here too. We're doing 44.1, 128 latency. I can get it down to 64, but I don't want to risk crackles and things as a test on what I'm doing right now. The delay is the latency is really good. It's really good on this combination. It only gets a little bit better if I go up in processing power. I have an M2 iPad, and everything just works smoother. But the latency, I can get the latency way down even with this. There's no problem with latency until I get down to like an old Mini 4. So outside of my playing and intonation, I like that sound. That's with the telly. Let me show you what the Les Paul. Now, this is a Les Paul Custom Light 2013. as the 492. Can't remember. The bridge pickup is described as being more of a mid-forward rock type style, whereas the neck pickup is described as being more of a PAF style. But anyway, here this, and it's also I also have it with single double coil out of phase. I got that Jimmy Page stuff here, which I hardly ever use, but I do use the single and double. So this is double coil. I mean the full humbucker on the treble pickup. Oh, there's tuned in D. Rhythm neck pickup, full humbucker. Single coil neck. Neck pickup, single coil. I mean, lead, bridge pickup. Single coil. Double. So I did design the sound on the Telecaster. So let me show you something, some of the stuff in the Bias Amp application. So if you've ever wondered, I'll show you some of the tube what the tubes do as you cycle through. These are 6L6s. All you have to do to cycle through is tap on the tube. You can select the tube by tapping here where it says input stage tube and go directly to it. really simple just to like that. Unfortunately, I mean, they're kind of realistic in that they're different levels, but that's very deceiving. So you kind of have to mess with the output level, because it will be perceived very differently if you don't equalize the volume. Here we are with the EL34s. So those have a lot of heat, and I might have distorted my OBS. Let's turn it down a little bit. A lot of attack. Let's go back to the 6s. Kind of a fatter, compressed. And then we go back to the So there are a lot of things you can change here. This is just one small thing. Probably the easiest place to start. And then the second easiest, or equally easy, would be the preamp tubes. So these are all 12AX7s. I can't really accurately describe the differences, but you can definitely hear it. And it's split. This is the input stage. This is the cathode follower. I have some information on how all this works together, but that's not the aim here. It's already going to be long and convoluted anyway. So the input stage, we can cycle through that and listen. So, it would probably be best to listen in headphones here, if you're into this at all. The BH7 is probably the fattest of the 12AX7. The AU7 is a low gain. So was the AV. Is that an AV? AY. Okay, so that's the that is the amp and preamp tubes, which is just the surface of this stuff. I mean, people play games, right? They like to play games. They like shooting stuff, and I look at it like this is my version of the software game, but I get to create amps. One of the complaints with the Bias, this generation of Bias at least, was that it's compressed. You can change that by looking at the transformer section, because that's where the compression occurs. Of course, this is not exactly what you find in amplifiers, but it does simulate the actual dynamics involved in the actual hardware. So I've taken almost all the compression out because I do also find that it's mostly compressed, a little over compressed, and but you can do that to taste. You have all the typical compressor, attack, release, compression level, input gain, ratio. It's all here, plus the general output level. Dynamic tone. Let's see, producing a slightly fuller low mid-range band and enhanced highs compared to the American style. Offers the perfect balance of presence and warmth. The rectifier tube, it works in tandem with those qualities that cause sag. There's only two. I guess the hard and soft would be the, I don't know if it's a compression. kind of an attack thing, it sounds like to me. Maybe an upper mid boost. I'm probably not going to go through everything here, but I mean, if you are interested in this kind of thing, it's a fun thing to do. To me, this would have been the direction I would love to have continued in if I had control over positive grid. I think the AI thing is cool, but when you really consider what you have here, had it have been refined, because there are some bugs in both the applications, it really, to me, the kind of thing I'm looking for, it's exactly what I'm looking for. It's unfortunate that they're probably not going to devote any more effort into this. I mean, if you consider this, if nobody knew about this from before, and you didn't tell them who made it and that it already exists, but you presented it slickly, kind of like that lava thing they have now, and you presented this, we're like, look at all the deep dive you can take into creating your own amplifiers, and it even has a amp matching circuit. And if you change the amp match, which is not the same thing as profiling, to a profile option and a NAM capture, and added it to all this, I mean, you could charge a lot more for it to start with. I would rather they didn't, but you could, to me anyway. And if you fixed some of the bugs in BiasFX. Oh, here's another great thing. In this version of BiasAmp, you can create a setting and save it just by holding. You hold that for a few seconds, and now that is saved here. I don't know what I have in the other ones. Let's see. So that wraps it up for this. I hope you found something interesting, and I thank you.